Okay, let's set the record straight, and you come to your own conclusions and make up your own mind, okay? All I'm going to do here is tell you the truth. The truth. Mark Fortin, the former chair of the Macomb County Republican Party, and Lisa Makowitz, flat out lied. Now, does that make them a liar because they told a lie? That's up to you to decide, because every single one of us has lied about something. But what happens is the lie almost always comes back and bites you in the butt. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. So let's just put it out there and move on, right? What's the lie? Here's the lie. That Lisa and Mark got Matt Deperno his endorsement from Trump. That Lisa and Mark made Matt Deperno. That's just a bold-faced lie. Remember when Lisa and Matt went to New Jersey to see Trump? And that was so cool. I mean, I thought that was so cool. Like, Lisa was larger than life, that she can talk to Trump and bring Matt Deperno there and get Matt Deperno the endorsement for Trump. And then even so, that while they were there, President Trump called the former chairman, Mark Fortin, on the phone, and they talked for a little bit, and like, whoa. And man, if I was Mark, I would have been tickled pink, and that would have been one of the highlights of my life, that I get to talk to President Trump. The problem with that narrative is it is false. Here's the truth. Matt got his own endorsement a long time ago. He's been talking and meeting with Trump because Trump has been calling Matt. Matt is his own connection to Trump. Matt calls President Trump, and by the end of the day, President Trump calls Matt back, and vice versa. And this has been going on since last July. And when Matt went out to New Jersey to see President Trump, it was Matt who said, "Hey, Lisa, want to come with me?" And Lisa did. Oh, it gets worse. Remember that key to the White House that was given to Lisa? That didn't happen either. It was actually given to Matt. President Trump gave the key to the White House to Matt Deperno. And in the most awesome, authentic humility and service, Matt said to President Trump, wow, the key to the White House, thank you. But here, give it to Macomb County, because Macomb County is what got you elected in Michigan in 2016, and they voted again for you in 2020. And President Trump goes, okay, here, Lisa, you represent Macomb County. That's Macomb County's key to the White House. It's not Lisa or Mark's or anything like that. Now, how did I come to this information and conclusion? Well, let me tell you, I'm glad you asked, okay? As I started connecting the dots, and please, I wish you wouldn't do a dot to dot that's just 1 and 2. Connect the dots all the way up to 10, 11, and 12. And what do you do when you were a kid and you did a dot to dot and made a picture? And then you got the picture and you're like, oh, that's what we're drawing here, okay? This isn't hard, folks. And here's what happened. I'm like, you know, the things that Lisa and Mark are saying, they're just not adding up. And that's not nice of me to question leadership, but we should question leadership. So then I just got really bold and I called up Matt. And Matt called me back. And let me tell you, all you 2,100 precinct delegates out there in the state of Michigan, do any of you have the time to take a half-hour phone call from 2,000 people? I don't. And I tell you, I was very honored and privileged that Matt called me back, and it was late at night, and we talked for about a half hour. And I just asked him, you know why I called him and asked him? Because Mark Fortin says, hey, why don't you call Matt and ask him why, you know, he's not going to do a forensic audit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is enough. I'm going to use the little bit of influence I have, and I'm going to call Matt. And Matt took my call and talked to me personally. Listen, I don't think you should expect that any person could call 2,000 people and talk to you one-on-one. And when Matt told me that he's the one that brought Lisa to see Trump in New Jersey, and that he's the one who got the key to the White House. I was like, no way. The narrative that Mark and Lisa are making is that they made Matt. And then they endorse Matt like they shouldn't, because if it was a personal endorsement, you don't sign your name, chair and vice chair of the Macomb County Republican Party. Just sign your name, Chris Shornack. Father, husband, and hard worker. You know, you don't have to sign it, president of this or that, or chairman. So Lisa and Mark wanted to go to Mar-a-Lago a month ago, and they were invited by Matt. But Matt's instruction by President Trump for his fundraiser was you can invite 100 people, but all 100 have to pay. Why would they have to pay? Because it's a fundraiser. That's why they got to pay. And I know that there was 2 levels. One was $2,500 and one was $25,000. And for $25,000, you got a one-on-one with President Trump and your picture taken. Okay? And I saw a lot of my friends there, and I went, wow. At first, I thought everybody had to pay $25,000. I'm like, that is, wow, I got some rich friends. Well, I talked to a couple of those friends, and they're like, no, Chris, it wasn't $25,000. It was another amount. And Mark and Lisa wanted to go for free, and they called Matt, and Matt told me, oh, Lisa, swore to him on the phone and yelled, we made you, Matt, you owe us, we want a free ticket to Mar-a-Lago. If you don't, we'll pull our endorsement from you. So if you ever wondered why Mark and Lisa endorsed Matt Deperno and then they pulled their endorsement, but they're still supporting him, why? What do you call that? Pay to play. I think that's what you call that. And that's what Mark and Lisa threatened. And they didn't just threaten them. They followed through and pulled their personal endorsement of Matt Deperno. This is dirty, sleazy politics. It was a fundraiser. And Matt told me personally that it was one of the highest raising fundraisers at that time at Mar-a-Lago for that type of position. It was very successful. And then yesterday, we saw at our state convention that Matt did in fact win the Attorney General position at the state of Michigan, and he'll be on the ballot coming up this November, and we wish him the best. But this idea that Mark and Lisa made it is the biggest false narrative, and I hate coming out and doing this in public. Several of you watching this have heard me tell you the story, and gosh, I mean, I don't know how much time Matt has to go out and share this in public, or you want to call and talk to him in private, but please understand, if it's a half-hour conversation, how many people can he talk to in an 8-hour day? 16 people in a day multiplied by 5 days a week. I mean, he's got other things to do than to tell everybody this story. But everybody who knows me knows that if the facts change, I change my mind. If I'm wrong, I'm going to admit it. I'm going to follow the truth wherever it goes. And I can swear to you, sitting here in the church parking lot on Sunday morning, getting ready to go to church, that everything I just told you is absolutely, unequivocally true. So go ask and call Mark and Lisa and ask them about this and question them. My name's Chris Shornack, and I guarantee it.